In this video, I'll show you how to install OpenClaw on a Raspberry Pi 5 with AI Hat. You might remember this being called ClaudeBot. To be clear, OpenClaw is not a chatbot like ChatGPT or Gemini. It's an agent, and it uses tokens and API calls to actually make changes to your computer and whatever else you give it access to. There has been some significant drama around OpenClaw lately regarding security risks. Hi, my name is Caroline, and I make Raspberry Pi tutorials, tech, and travel videos. I also have my bachelor's and master's degrees in electrical engineering from Georgia Tech, and I'm the author of a book, A Woman's Guide to Winning in Tech. I am not claiming to be a cybersecurity expert, and I'm certainly not claiming that my method is 100% secure. Hackers are creative, and given the opportunity, they can compromise almost any system. Now, I am not giving this agent access to my Venmo or even my real email. I'm presenting a Sandbox version running on this Raspberry Pi using my burner email address, one set up specifically for this Sandbox. I was inspired by a post I saw on the official Raspberry Pi blog where the author used OpenClaw to spin up a wedding photo booth in just a few minutes. In this episode, I'll walk you through a basic install of OpenClaw on my Raspberry Pi 5 with AI Hat. Now, a quick note on hardware compatibility. I tried this on my Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 gigs of RAM, and it did not work. The agent just crashed and said I didn't have the right hardware. So that probably means it's not going to work with a Raspberry Pi 3 or Raspberry Pi Zero. The official Raspberry Pi blog says it will work on a Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gigs, but I have not verified that for myself. I highly recommend using a Raspberry Pi 5 with AI Hat. If you don't have one, it should work on a regular Raspberry Pi 5. And if you don't have one, I'm going to encourage you to actually get a refurbished Chromebook. So the next video is going to be installing OpenClaw on my Chromebook. Now, the prerequisites for this video include Raspberry Pi Imager, and I covered that in a previous video. If you are using this AI Hat, I covered that in a previous video as well. Now, using that Raspberry Pi Imager, I am going to use the 64-bit version of the Raspberry Pi operating system, which at the time of this recording is Trisxie. I am using a 64 gigabyte micro SD card and my burner email address. And now I'm starting the screen record portion of this video. I'm using Raspberry Pi Connect to get to default Raspberry Pi desktop. I am going to open up a terminal, and I'm going to check to make sure I have the latest release as of the recording of this video. And I do. We are on Trisxie, and I'm also going to open up a web browser, and I've already gone ahead and done that just to save time. And I am going to OpenClaw.ai. I've already logged in with my burner email account. This email account doesn't have access to my banking information or even my contacts that I actually talk to. And we're going to OpenClaw.ai. And in order to install OpenClaw.ai on a Raspberry Pi, there is a nice little quick start. And it gives you the terminal command that you'll need. All I'm going to do is click copy this terminal command. And I'm going to take that over to my terminal I just showed you a second ago. And I'm just going to right click, hit paste this command, and hit enter. And this is going to take a little while for this to install. This is a fresh copy of Raspberry Pi, and I don't have Node.js installed, and it is going to install Node.js. We're going to let this work for a while, and I will be right back. And we have installed OpenClaw on our Raspberry Pi. It says, I understand this is a personal by default and shared multi-user use. Do you want to continue? So it's giving you a bunch of terms and conditions and disclaimer. OpenClaw is a hobby project still in beta as of the recording of this video. It is a personal agent. A bad prompt can trick it into doing unsafe things. OpenClaw is not a hostile multi-tenant boundary by default, but
If multiple users can message one tool-enabled agent, they can share that delegated to authority. If you're not comfortable with security hardening or access control, don't run this. I am going to select yes, and I am going to hit enter. Now let's go into onboarding mode, and the default is quick start. We are going to select quick start. OpenClaw is not an AI in and of itself. You do need to link it to your AI where you have an account. The general choices are OpenAI, also known as ChatGPT, or Anthropic, also known as Claude. And there are other choices here. I'm going to choose OpenAI, and then I can use my ChatGPT authorization, and I'm going to select that. Now I'm back over in my web browser at chatgpt.com, and I am going to create my account. I'm going to hit sign up for free, and I'm going to use my burner account with that. Let me make this a little bigger, and I'm going to continue with Google and choose an account. I'm going to choose the account I've already logged into, which is my burner account, and now I'm going to choose to continue. And then I need to confirm my details, which is my name and my birthday. Now I'm logged in to my brand new ChatGPT account. Let's head back over to the terminal. I'm going to choose OpenAI Codex ChatGPT OAuth, and then it's going to go back to the browser. I'm going to re-log in with that account I just created, and now I'm going to sign into Codex with ChatGPT. I'm going to hit continue. Authentication successful. Excellent. Let's return to my terminal. And from here, I can choose the model. I'm just going to keep the current model, hit enter. And then now I can select a channel. The purpose of selecting a channel is so that you have a way to communicate with your OpenClaw. Now, if you're using a Mac Mini, what I've seen most people do is they use the Telegram app, and they have a login and password to that Telegram so that they can interface with their OpenClaw. In our scenario, since I'm using Raspberry Pi, I'm going to use Raspberry Connect in order to interface with my Pi, and thus I'm going to hit skip for now, and I'm not going to set up a channel. Next, do I want to configure skills now? I'm going to hit yes just so that you can see what the choices are. There's 1Password, Blog Watcher, etc., etc. I'm not going to select any of these, so I'm going to hit the space bar to skip for now, and then I hit enter. Then do I want to set Google Places API key? No, I do not. I'm going to select no, hit enter. Do I want to set Gemini API key for Nana Banana Pro? No, I do not. Do I want to set Notion API key? No. Set OpenAI API key for OpenAI image generation? No, nope, nope. I'm going to hit no through the rest of these. Wants to know if I would like to add hooks. I'm going to hit space for skip for now, hit enter, and no, I'm not going to configure any hooks. Now it's going to start installing my gateway. I think it's ready to go. How would I like to hatch my bot? I can hatch in TUI, which is hatching it in this terminal interface, or I can open this in the web UI, or I can do this later. And I'm going to select hatch in TUI or TUI, and I'm going to be able to chat in the terminal with my OpenClaw. And here is the beginning of the session.
And to get to that web UI, you just look it up here as you scroll through with the token. Right click, copy URL, go to the browser, and paste and go. Let's do that, and there we go. Okay, so now we are ready to start chatting with our OpenClaw. And while I'm here, I do want to show you how you can check your usage. Now, I just created a brand new free account on ChatGPT. Now, I did link it with my brand new ChatGPT account on my burner email address, and I do get some free credits as of the recording of this video. I'm going to chatgpt.com/codex/settings/usage, and it does show me how many credits I have. But once I start chatting with this, it's going to start using up those credits. And that's the foundation. We now have our gateway running and our terminal ready for OpenClaw in our Raspberry Pi 5. In the next few videos, we're going to put this agent to work. We'll start off with an autonomous time lapse and work our way up to a full photo booth as we look at the next iteration of vibe coding. Now, if you don't have a Raspberry Pi 5, Don't worry, I've also tested this setup on a Chromebook, and I think it worked really well. This is just a refurbed Chromebook, and I'll be coming out with a dedicated setup for Chromebook users soon. My name is Caroline, and I make Raspberry Pi tutorials, tech and travel videos. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.